I mean, you could write all kinds of rules, but we want to have them. I mean, the big one would be about fishing, fish cleaning, smoking. You did it, I think, smoking. I think nobody's going to have a problem with children under 12 wearing an approved life vest.
They don't have to. It would be, I think that children under 12 should be supervised.
Adult
I think
supervision.
that children under 12 they should be recommended to wear. It should be, somewhere I think we should recommend that they do. I don't know that all docks make you wear, so it depends on the marina. Some marinas do, some marinas
But
don't.
see, this is going to be a code.
Okay,
So the ramifications are, if we put that in the code, or you can put it on a sign,
okay.
suggesting it, but if it's in the code, then we have our code enforcement guys getting
Now
kind of
then I
caught
would
in the
take it
middle.
out. 12 is a pretty big kid.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but-
that adult supervision is probably
Adult
enough.
supervision
Right.
is fine.
Right. Okay. So, no debris, equipment, articles brought onto the dock shall be left on the dock upon departure, nobody's going to complain about that. No commercial operation or activity shall be operated from the dock boat ramp. Although, we had somebody, there was somebody in the harbor was selling lobsters one year, or like, I don't know if anybody remembers that. And they were selling things off their boat, fish. So if anybody pulled up to our dock, are we gonna chase them away? No commercial, I mean, you want to
I
put
don't know
that,
if that's
if you want, in the code.
We don't want commercial use of the dock, will we?
Well, I don't know whether that is the commercial use of the dock.
I
If
think
somebody is in
commercial-
commerce, and they're selling something,
Yeah,
and they
but
pull
I
up the
think,
dock and say, you wanna buy a dozen clams or something.
Yeah, if they tether up to it and sit there and sell their goods, they can't do that.
I mean, we don't have to enforce it anyway. But it was-
they can't do that, but you don't want a commercial fishing boat picking people up on the dock. That's how I read the commercial part, of like having the Poquott to stop for,
Right. Okay, so I'll leave it in.
Happy hour Friday night.
Right, exactly.
You're not serious about doing Friday nights, are you?
No, I
Okay.
can't.
All right, so
So
no
I
jumping,
don't think,
diving, swimming from
something-
the dock, everybody aboard on that? Docking, swimming dock?
No,
Jumping-
from the dock, I
Docking.
don't,
No jumping, diving, or swimming from the dock?
They're not supposed to be swimming in the water anyway.
Oh, that would
At
be-
any time,
That's
from
right.
the dock,
That's
from the
right.
beach,
It's
from
not a
anywhere.
It's not a beach. Well, do we leave it in?
Yeah. Safety, right? Unless you want to just put on the sign.
I think it should be there because if you have boats pulling up and people are swimming around, that's a hazard.
yeah, I think
What about swimming back to the shore from your boat? As long as you don't hit the dock. you know.
that's not, you can't, that's gonna be a really hard one to regulate. No swimming back from your boat.
Well, this is for the dock anyway, so.
Like you
yeah,
said,
don't
for the
touch
dock. We don't want people-
You can swim under the dock.
And again, it's better, it's fine to be there, whether it gets enforced, that's all there is. But I think it's-
Okay. I thought this was a good one.
People should not be
Rena added.
swimming around with boats are docking.
No fires, cooking, or, I changed the wording a little bit.
Yeah.
No fires, cooking, or open flames are allowed on the dock or vessels tethered to the dock.
I think you should do smoking to boats.
Well, that's-
What's or vessels tethered to the dock? Oh, and you can't have a fire in the boat, okay.
Yeah, people have
Like
stoves.
people have
that are-
barbecues on the back of
Yeah,
their
they
boat,
have these-
they can't barbecue.
They're
in
attached to
there.
the rail of the boat, and it's a propane thing.
Okay.
But,
Is smoking's okay?
well, look, we
You
have
just
to make
say,
consensus.
dock is only used for picking up and dropping off from passengers. All other activities are prohibited.
That's it.
That's all you need.
Pick them up and drop them off. Anything else? You're in violation. What are you fishing?
Wait.
I'm not, you know what, I'm not, I mean, fishing is interesting, but if I'm a guy coming in on a boat, no offense, if I'm coming in on my boat and your line is out, what are we doing?
You got a guy fishing off the dock.
I know.
You're gonna tell a guy just built a dock, you can't fish off the dock?
I'm not saying you can't fish off the dock, but there are
No,
conflicts of
I'm not
interest
talking
with the
about the
boat.
floating side, I'm talking you go 50 feet out and you cast off the
He
whole
has to
of
bring
it.
in his line and let you dock.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be. if you're gonna-
Okay,
Yeah,
and if
he-
that fisherman wants to light a cigar and have a cigar, can he have a cigar?
I don't think you can. You realize in New York State parks, you can't do that, smoking is illegal in
It's
New York
contained area,
State
you
parks.
can't, it's only 4 feet wide. You can't really do that. In
But let's
fact-
point out, all last summer, people were fishing like crazy and we had no issues.
Right.
No
Yeah.
issues.
Actually, we did.
Thank you, man.
What were
We
the
did.
issues?
There were
What
a
was
couple
the-
of
They were having
times
fun?
Oh
No,
my
no, no,
God.
and you know, everybody was
Jesus.
good about it, there was no,
What are you
words
doing,
passed or
guys?
anything.
We're just talking, we're just talking.
Gary,
Me.
it's a work, Gary, it's a working meeting. Save it for the next part of the meeting.
Thanks, Jeff.
There were like 4 fishermen at the end of the dock where you have the wheelchair turnaround. So they were kind of blocking the area because they had their poles and lines and buckets for fish and all that kind of stuff. People were getting around it okay, and I personally don't have a problem with using a pier for fishing. I think it's a good thing. I think we could structure it that they don't go down to the float.
Nah, you can't do that either.
Yeah, I think, that,
Okay,
listen,
but-
I'm just trying to simplify. We're creating a massive list of things here, and maybe if we just said loading and unloading and fishing, all other activities prohibited, I think we would cover ourselves.
What about taking pictures at sunset?
What about it?
That's not in the list you just said.
Oh, seriously? Who's really? So you're gonna put that you can or can't do that on there?
No, I mean, I'm just
All right.
saying that.
So then let's
it's
put
a-
it. Let's
the
go line
dock-
by line and
The
go
dock
through it.
started out, actually, for a lot of
I
different
know,
reasons.
Jeff, but it's minutia. We're going line for line for line, and it just becomes ways for people to pick apart things and say, well, that's not there and that's not there, and it becomes overwhelming.
Okay, but
I think
the
it's common
difference
sense
is,
for a lot of
the
things. We're being
difference is-
able to use it with no
so.
problems.
I agree.
the difference is though that if we're going to write this into the code, you have to be specific. You're basically saying this is what the law is gonna be. How it plays out, or if we can enforce it or whatever is a consideration, but it's beside the point. So if we're writing a sign, like we have that, and you just put that in whatever you could think of, and it's fine, we can do that. But if you want to have it as part, a separate addition to parks, then you have to say, okay, here's what we're gonna do. And we never really decided, when we opened up the dock, we said, let's do it for summer and see how it goes. We had fishermen out there that were fine. We had people doing other things, sunbathing on the floating dock, they were fine, because nobody else was around, and they were, you know. So, I personally don't think that we should legislate all that stuff, but the thing about smoking and fishing is contentious, you hear that time and again. So this is the place, the time and the place where we have to make some decisions.
I think we can split the difference. I think we can go halfway in between what you're both saying, because I think some of it's minutia and some of it needs to be there. That's the way I see it,
Well,
like to
that's
say.
what we're here for.
Right, to say the village dock, for the use of village residents and their guests. Yes, that has to be there, we have to specify who's gonna use it. All persons using the dock use so at their own risk, that's a insurance
Disclaimer.
liability, that needs to be there. The village dock permits convenient access for watercraft, that whole line, we can get rid of it, because people know what it's used for. The common sense parts, I think we can get rid of it, but to have just a general outline that's more than just 2 sentences, due to the limited docking space, residents and guest vessels should be mindful, I guess you could, that's probably not necessary, people should be courteous, I could see.
Can't legislate courtesy.
I think, so then I would take that out, but there's certain things in here, no debris, equipment, articles, I mean, we should say that. And the jumping, diving, I think if it's a liability issue, it should be, where you're starting to say, well, nobody told me I couldn't jump off when there was a boat coming and I got hit in the head with the front of a boat, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you could split it halfway. I think
Usually
it's
it's no
get-
diving, I see that all the municipal, the other municipal docks that that I work for. they-
Right, but is that just a sign at the dock, or is that in their code?
Sign at the dock.
Right.
But
So
I-
that's what I'm trying to
I
say.
think
I'm trying to
that's-
say,
I
like, the
agree.
sign at the dock as opposed to installing it as code is probably where I'd be more favorable.
I wanna stay away from the
Follow
hours,
posted
I don't care if
regulations.
someone fishes at 11 o'clock at night, again, it was
If it's
happening
posted
all
as
the summer,
regulation.
no problems.
I think it should be no smoking, because it's a municipal facility, and I
Yeah.
think that fishing should be allowed, provided it doesn't interfere with boating. That should be,
Boaters take precedence over the fishermen, that's the
fishing
base.
allowed.
So we should have 2 things, we should have the code, make it a little easier, and then come up with a new sign, because I just threw that sign together at the beginning of the
Yeah.
season.
You can even
I don't
say,
even know what's on it, I don't even remember.
you can even say in the code, like, you can have 1 or 2 major things that we definitely don't want or do want, And then you can have a third provision that says that the trustees shall, from time to time, adopt a resolution, adopt regulations for the use of the dock. And that's what's posted on the sign.
Yeah.
So if you just put something like that in, then we could adjust, do the sign thing from time to time.
And we saw, look how long it took with the dog law. And after that, we haven't heard anything in 5 years, right? People just are doing what they were doing
But
anyway,
this
so.
sign, the things that are on the sign, I mean, we threw that together at a meeting last year, and everybody just agreed, and then it seems to have worked. I mean, we haven't had any major complaints. People weren't coming to meetings screaming about the sign, what's allowed or not allowed.
No, and these are things that are not gonna be in the book, like where you were at the fire extinguisher stuff, these were things, you know.
Those are discussion points.
That has to just be on the dock next year, that's not an option, right? So,
All right, well, look, I certainly don't want to belabor the point, but we're here now, let's just go point by point. I mean, I don't really care, but I do think some of these things should be in code.
One and
And
two
when
should
the
be-
one that you cited, number 3, that sentence was an introductory sentence to say what the purpose of the dock is
Well,
for.
then that-
And says, and including washing down the boat. But that leads into, the courtesy thing about people not standing there all day washing,
I
waxing
think,
their
but I
boat.
think you've summed it up, but you've summed it up with the village dock and adjacent parking areas for the use of village residents and their guests, period. I think that the loading and unloading, I mean, you could add that into that, but to say they're washing it down, what they're doing with it, I mean, because now we're gonna go back into splitting hairs and saying, well, are they taking pictures, are they fishing, they're doing whatever they wanna do as long as they're not being dangerous. And I think that that's the point. It's to say that it's just for residents and their guests, period. I think that covers it. That they're using it for their own risk, number 2, that covers it. Number 3, I would get rid of, and if you wanna enhance number 1 a little bit, due to limited box spacing, residents and guests, leave that for the sign.
I think 3 should be in there, that's exactly what we're saying, it's for the guests to load,
So
unload,
the 3 and 1
visitors.
should be combined into one law. So then 1 should come out and it should just be 3. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of, they're the same
Redundant.
thing, they're redundant, so either 1 or
Okay.
3.
All right, I agree.
So then I would keep 3, get rid of 1. Due to the limited dock space, residents and guest vessels should be mindful of other vessels, that could be a sign. No loud music can be a sign. Children under the age of 12, I think that should stay as part of the law, a little, I know.
Wasn't gonna be adult supervision?
The children under the age of 12 years are not permitted anywhere on the dock or boat ramp without the adult supervision, I don't know. I mean, because there are kids that are 11 that are down there fishing,
Yeah,
but I don't
I
know what
think
the
that's overly
liability is
restrictive
then.
myself.
Overly
Oh, we definitely
restrictive, so then take that whole thing out and make that part of the sign when you get to it. No debris, equipment, articles, or other items brought onto the dock shall be left on the dock upon departure.
There again, that could be on the sign.
Sign.
That
I
could be
agree.
on the sign. No commercial operation,
I think that should be in there.
I kind of agree with you. I think to say that it's not a commercial place, that you can incorporate that.
Okay.
Jumping, you could actually add that at the end of the village dock is for this, it is not for commercial use, into that whole overarching statement. Jumping, diving, that could be on the sign, right? Jumping, diving, swimming,
Well, you said that was in the code for most of the other ones, right?
No, it's on the sign.
On the
On the
sign.
Yeah,
sign.
it's on the docks. And
and no fires in the immediate vicinity of the, I think that's kind of, I mean, if you get somebody who's barbecuing and walks away, they're tethered, and they've got a little grill going, they could set the whole, I don't know, I think that one's kind of important, the fire safety.
So we'll put that in the code.
Yeah, I mean,
And the sign.
All right, let's decide now, hours of, this is where I really thought we would have the discussion, but I'm glad we did the first page. But this second page, hours of use, do we want to not even have it?
No, I don't wanna have that.
Okay, I'm fine with that. All right, the seasonal closure of the dock, I think we should mention something about it, and I'm not sure what we want to talk about, but clearly there's some insurance risk type things and, that additional sign that we put up.
We should be,
So we have to,
let me just add that in the first part where we say the village dock provides convenient seasonal access to watercraft. That's not detailed enough. seasonal, I mean, and then the season is TBD on the sign,
No, I wouldn't do that.
no? You have to specify the season? Not TBD
No,
that you're gonna
not TBD,
TBD, I'm
understood.
saying you wouldn't say the season on the sign?
I would pick a date and, I would pick a date that's like,
Put it in
like
the
at the
law.
outside of the envelope. And, I would probably put it in the law, because that's something you want to enforce.
How about we say that the dock is closed upon removal of the ramp and floats, and is closed for the duration or something to that effect? Because then, I don't want to get locked into a date, because you never know when it's going to actually be hauled out. And sometimes the dock is, this year went pretty late,
Yeah,
and
but
the
you
weather
know-
cooperated, people were using, going out to just hang out on the dock, and why not? It's really, it becomes dangerous when all of a sudden there's nothing at the end of the dock. So, we really were, so,
That's why I put the gate up.
It's a big step.
right, and with the sign on the gate that now we're closed.
I would close it, November 1st, and if if with global warming, if it ends up being nice for a couple of weeks, then you could vote to keep it open, but that's the cautious way to do it,
To say November first,
Yeah,
and
to
you
say-
could just put, you can put the sign up and close it before they pull the floats. If they're 2 weeks late pulling the floats, you can still
Yeah.
close the dock
For
November
other
first
signs.
if you want. I don't know.
What do we do in the spring
How do you
now?
feel?
Because the spring really depends on how the weather is. It could be open in April 1st if the weather's nice, but it might not be till May 1st if it's not.
So what I would do is I
Gotta
would,
get vendors, somebody's gonna have to do it, you have to.
Yeah, but they're ready to- they're ready to go anyway.
I mean, have a date.
yeah, I would make it April
April-
1st.
I would say
or
April
depending
1st.
on what- And then I would also put it, I'm
Weather
sorry.
contingent?
Yeah, weather contingent,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, put it April 1st, weather contingent.
This year, November 1st would have been an early date. At Smithtown, we had the gas dock open until about the 3rd or 4th.
Of
It's a good,
November.
it's a good, if we want to extend it, the board could extend it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you could always extend it.
Why don't we do November 15th to April 15th?
April 15th is late.
April
Can
15th.
you go to November 1st
April
to April
1st is
1st? Okay.
Says the two voters.
It is, it's late. Yeah, you want to be in.
Fishing off the dock, forget the hours, yeah. We're not doing any hours at all, so then there's no that.
Well, now, just getting back to page 1, why don't we not mention fishing at all?
Because
It's
I
just-
think, well, it's for.
People can go fish or not fish, but we're not gonna make a, we're
Okay,
not
so
saying.
it's just for expressed use of the residents and their guests.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, but then we don't have to do the whole loading and unloading, fishing, then we're contradicting ourselves, because we just added 3 back in, and that specifies, so if you're gonna say it's for unloading and loading, then you should say it's also for
Yeah, but we
fishing.
don't say fish or something else, I mean, it's just,
Again, we get into this thing where if we just say it's for the guests and
I
their
think
and the
it should
residents.
just say for their residents and their guests.
That's it.
And they do what they
Yeah,
want, if
yeah.
they wanna do like
Okay,
a
I'm
conga
all for
line and
that.
it's not being used, then
Right.
they do a conga line.
I mean, we didn't have anybody show up at the meeting this year complaining that they were trying to pull their boat into the fisher.
No, I think everybody was pretty
Yeah,
nice.
no, everybody
Yeah,
was
so-
very cooperative and.
The only problem we had was the sunbathers on the floats.
And realistically, someone is gonna sit down there and fish
Yeah.
and smoke a cigar,
Yeah.
but you just don't want it to be, a barbecue on their boat kind of thing. That's, Gary, you could smoke a cigar.
Well, okay, so everything else would be signed, safety equipment
Yeah.
and concern. Now, this was, I think, Vinnie, we do have to get some.
Yeah,
a
definitely.
ring
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
we need to do the markers
the
and fire
markers
extinguisher.
and the fire extinguisher. We need.
There's a safety ring, a float, some kind of lifesaver, oh yeah, that's on there.
So now, as far as the smoking, you think that we should specifically, I don't remember whether or not it was in parks.
I think it might be in parks.
I remember it was some back
I
and
don't
forth
have it
on
in front of
that.
me, obviously, but I think
Yeah.
it may be there.
If it's already there, we don't need it, because this is another additional section of it.
Right,
So
so we would have to verify if it's already in parks. I feel like it might be.
All right, I'll look at that. I think I may have that with me. I do. You know what it would be?
Under smoking. Yes, look for us.
Multiple prohibitions.
Under smoke.
I'm sure we had a
Maybe we left,
definition
we may
this
have left it out. I'm looking
I
at
think we
the
did.
backside, we might have just left it out to not,
And the,
not do it.
We might have took that one.
my memory of it is,
Fire things that were going off.
it was very similar to tonight.
Yeah, the only two wearing that with
Similar
missiles.
discussion. So,
Exactly.
all right, so, is smoking allowed on the dock or is that allowed? Or we're gonna just not mention it?
Let's just leave it.
I would just, yeah.
Say no fires and barbecues. I
That's
think you
fine.
should do no cooking,
Only
no
for
equipment on the boats or on the thing. You don't want
I think
somebody,
that open flame was good to mention that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Can we put cigars encouraged?
No.
I'm thinking of the area. All right, so I'll
Only
do
the
that.
noblies,
Okay, so,
not the noblies,
we'll send the
please.
changes, you'll redo it again. Mooring fees, did you have a chance to look at that?
I did.
Okay, so I just want you to know, we've already had 4 or 5 people already apply for the permit for next year.
Okay.
I think that we're okay, we budgeted $2,500 for the maintenance, it was only $900 to get the floating docks out.
Are we power washing that? Is someone gonna get on that?
David is going to, he's gonna
I mean,
strip
not now,
them,
but later.
no, and he's gonna redo the.
That one. right.
Cleats.
Yeah, the cleats, yeah. But that'll be in the spring when he does the boat racks. Okay, so maybe I'll probably have him do it in March.
How much is, so I think, the boat racks, I guess, is that also gonna, is that something we also put under what the mooring fees cover?
No, the mooring fees only cover the mooring, which was $50 to us and $125 a ton.
Right, but I mean, that fee that we get out of that is budgeted only to cover what
Maintenance.
what's maintenance of the
For a
dock?
floating dock,
Of the dock.
right. The
How much
maintenance
is
for the
it, how
dock,
much is it to maintain the racks?
nothing, like very little.
Very little, okay.
Basically, your budget for that is in California Park anyway,
Mhm.
Oh, it's already there.
$5,000 in California Park.
So I think it's something we should look at for next year, but earlier, maybe like in August or September.
When are people available to get 2020, when's the open date for 2020 mooring permits begin? Is it January 1?
It's already working.
Yeah,
They're already
December.
down.
California Haven's already got them all out
Okay,
there.
all right.
Mhm.
We're getting
So I
the
think we should
renewals
just
now.
leave it for this year
Okay.
anyway, because I think we're fine, but it's something we should look at earlier, earlier in the year, like
Mhm.
maybe September, so. All right, social media policy, Jacqueline sent that to all of us, then she got back to comments, and then she sent out the new one, I think the new one is fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you get a copy of it?
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
so did anyone have any comments for me to send to her, because I thought this was perfectly
I
fine.
thought it was good.
I was just gonna send it to you to look at, and, if you're fine with it, then we could just, we'll
I'll
adopt
look
this.
at, look at it one more time.
Okay, I'll
When I
send it
got
to you,
I
and then
did
we'll
look
do,
at it.
we'll do it in January.
I thought it was okay when I got it.
Okay, Poquott teens?
Okay, here we go, quick, there, out, pass it along.
This
That's
now?
the new form, and behind it is the new website page, and they're both ready to rock whenever we're good with them. I added the waiver and liability release, which I pulled that off of another waiver that I found for like a school. And then, there was a couple of other things that people asked me to add. Jeff had some revisions on the page, he gave me some suggestions there, I think I put those in. Relationship to volunteer, emergency contact, somebody, what did Jacqueline want? I forgot what she wanted. I think she may have wanted the relationship to volunteer. Or she wanted a second emergency contact. I adjusted that, right now, I'm not remembering exactly which of the two it was. And then the waiver, and then we added on the actual form, we added, please be advised that the village can only approve projects that are appropriately suited for available volunteers. You will receive a response informing you whether or not your project is approved. Because we had said, we don't know what's what. So I put that as a little disclaimer so that when people fill out the form, they don't automatically assume that their house is getting re-sided.
What did you?
That would be some set of.
Some volunteer, huh?
Service credits right there.
When did you wanna send this
And
out?
now that you
What's
think
that?
about
When
it.
did you wanna put this out?
I wanna make an announcement, put it on, circulate it through Facebook, and put it up on the website. It's ready to go whenever it's approved.
My recommendations now.
And I think we should, resend it out again in March, because that's when people need it.
Legal enforcement for this volunteers and send it agree, release and agree. Okay, that's good? Otherwise, you good? Okay.
Can I just, a minor point,
Yeah.
why is this, the caps used in the last sentence in the waiver?
I guess like I said, I pulled it off of a school thing. I guess the school person was screaming, saying, even if arising from their negligence.
Right, that's, my
It's a little
take,
obnoxious.
you're probably right in that regard, because that's how I'm reading it. And
So
I'm
then I'll
thinking,
just make it,
It's a little bit off-putting.
Yeah, you
It's a little bit off-putting when if you're
I can
asking
make
a
it
parent-
regular case. I just
Yeah.
copy pasted something that I found that I thought was suitable. But you're right, I think. Let's just make it a little more friendly.
Yeah.
Put a little smiley face.
And we should
Yeah,
resend
we'll
it
do
out
that.
in March when
Did you get-
people need it.
I'm sorry, Steve. So, you know what, I would just take that out.
Completely?
Even if arising from the negligence, I would just take that out.
Okay.
I didn't,
Or not to the fullest extent,
I would
so
leave that in.
above to the fullest extent permitted by law.
yeah, I would leave, yes, leave the rest in, to the fullest extent permitted by law, leave that in, and leave it above. Just take out the stuff that's
Got
in
it.
caps.
Okay,
And then
got
all
it.
set.
All right. And so do you want me to put it up now, or do you wanna nix it until the spring because now nobody's doing this? I don't, you don't wanna do it if the kids aren't gonna volunteer, and then you're gonna get an influx of people asking for things and we
Their
just.
volunteer hours are year-long, so they can volunteer at any time.
But they really start scrambling in March.
Yeah.
So
When they
then
realize
put it
they-
up now, and
Realistically,
then,
for what we
Yeah,
want.
2 more months before
You wouldn't
school's
do it.
over, they gotta get it in.
They have like about 6 weeks and they're all like, what can I do, what can I do?
Shoveling snow.
So maybe put it in, well, maybe there are
we
our
need to do the
answer.
whole village.
There's 7 of them.
How many
walking down
kids
the
from
street.
Washington Street?
But if they wanna that's something that, people need.
Okay,
So I would say put it out as soon as possible and let's see what response we get and we'll go from there.
Okay.
But we'll definitely send out notice and stuff,
Again,
like
that's-
around the end of February, beginning of March.
Right.
Okay.
Have a soft opening.
We've had
Right,
kids
that's a good-
that
that's a
have
good thing to call
contacted
it,
us and
soft
said,
opening.
we'll do this and this, and then they do it and they,
Okay.
so. Okay, and then Joe, do you have anything? Or
I
we have no
have a-
legal action this month?
Don't jinx this. I have a couple things for executive session. I'm sorry, but I need a few minutes to let you know a couple things that are going on. And, I just want to mention that I got a call from, one of the assistant town attorneys of the town of Brookhaven. And she wanted to know if we wanted to, enter an IMA regarding their tax assessments with their tax assessor. Do we want to do that? She had no idea what services were going to be provided. She just said that
We just use their tax roll.
we use the tax roll.
We contact them and send us your tax roll.
I think they could probably provide it to us electronically or something.
do.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You send it to them by
So
email.
I'm gonna,
We'll just print it out and we'll use it.
I'm waiting for a description of this just happened yesterday. I'm waiting for a description of exactly what they'll do and then I'll let you know.
Okay.
Or a copy of the IMA. But I want to let you know that was happening and I think that that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aptiv is, it's dying a slow death, that case. So
Good.
we'll just see what happens.
Okay, anyone have anything else? Oh, you know what, the only thing I wanted to tell you was that, I don't know, when you were the attorney many, many years ago, we had the suit with, National Grid,
Yes.
and they were supposed to do the air monitoring, we finally got them to do the air monitoring, so we got the report back, and basically they monitored from June 1st to, September 30th, all the limits came in under the legal amount, so they're saying that any of the odors that we're having here in the village is not from them. And I gave a copy to Cindy
Not from who?
it's not from National Grid, it's not from the power plant. Okay.
Oh.
And then I gave a copy to Cindy, so right now, we're just gonna hold that report. If we have to go forward with the nuisance complaint for the asphalt plant, that's just like another thing showing that they can't blame it on it's National Grid. So that's where we're at with that, so that project's finished and done. Okay. So do I have a motion to adjourn the work session?
Motion.
Okay. right, well, I call the business meeting to order. It's 7:05. We don't have any snow bids, so pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Village Hall will be closed for half days on December 24th and December 31st. It will also be closed on December 25th and January 1st on the service of Christmas and New Year's. This Saturday, they're gonna do Poquott Crafts for Kids from 11 to 1 here at Village Hall. Is that the last day for Toys for Tots?
Toys for Tots, we're gonna wind up having to drive it to them,
So,
so I'm just, we'll deal with that. They
They will not pick up.
they said they will not pick up. They finally spoke to you? They
last year
answered?
we had Alex drive them then.
All right, I'll drive them there, so.
But I want you to know, when he got there, they didn't take them. That's how they ended up back downstairs.
I went on their website and they do not have a truck for anybody to come out. You must bring your stuff into Bethpage. Period.
It was, I think it was Anime Building, when you truck around there last year.
All right, well, I have a date that I put on for the last of the collections. I think it's next, I don't think it's Saturday. I think
Okay.
it's next week.
I mean, I'm there in that area, if you want me to take it, how big of
It's
a
just
box are we
that
talking
box
about?
right there.
Because I'm not in Syosset,
Excuse me?
It's that one.
We got all that stuff.
I went through half the stuff in the basement.
Yeah.
Some of it, I don't think I wanna even, I'll go finish going through.
Anything
Some
that
of
want
it-
to toss.
Yeah, some of it I think is like, I don't know, some of it's kind of junky. You don't wanna give them packages that are
No,
half
but
open.
they're
dirty.
stocking stuffers, so they could use them if they do that kind of thing. That's why they're
Or
kept.
just go to the
No,
supermarket.
I used 3/4 of what's down there. There's like 2 more bags of stuff that I need to go through to look at.
I threw away the real crummy stuff. Some of them are
I think
just
some
like
of it
aged,
might,
but,
yes,
you
I
know.
think the
Okay.
I
slightly.
mean, is there enough to
aged.
throw
We
into,
got so many.
into a Forerunner, or is it more than that?
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
not.
It's not more than that, no.
So if I just find out what the address is, I'm right in Syosset, so I can drive it down there.
And but you gotta throw it out your car, cause they didn't take Alex's last time.
Oh, why didn't they take it?
They had so many donations that they said, we don't need any more.
Should we call them in advance and say, are they still taking
They won't
donations?
return,
They don't
I
even
called
answer the
them,
phone. Okay.
I think
If they don't take it, drop it at the soup kitchen.
I-
Because those kids could use it.
I think next year, I mean, I'm not saying because I'm mad because they didn't call me back. I'm saying if they're that inundated, then we should find someplace else that's local, like, I
Right,
mean,
more
because a
local.
lot of people bring in for Toys for Tots, and I have the whole thing running for Mather, and people are only gonna donate to 1 or 2, so maybe we just focus it to
Something
one local
local.
thing
Mhm.
that definitely wants it, like Mather really wants the stuff.
Right.
But I don't have as much signups. I have more Toys for Tots stuff,
But why
Because
don't we
that's
just,
known.
why don't we drop it all for nothing?
because they won't take it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Mather has, it's for the adolescent behavior
Oh, I
unit,
see, it's a-
and they have a specific, this is what we will take,
Right,
because,
right.
and then they want the stuffed animals for the
Little
kids, the kids having surgeries and
Okay.
stuff like that.